Atomic Habits by James Clear is the best self-improvement book I've ever read, and you should read it as soon as possible. It's not only my favorite book of 2019, it's my favorite book of all time, and I'd recommend it to absolutely anyone. In this video, I'll summarize a few of the key points from the book, and tell you exactly what atomic habits are, and why you need to start changing yours right away. Hey, I'm the Improvement Geek, sharing scientific self-improvement to help you achieve your goals. If you're new to the channel, something that you should know about me is I read a lot of books on self-improvement, psychology, and neuroscience. Of the 50 books I've read so far in 2019, Atomic Habits is not just my favorite I've read this year, it's my favorite book I've read of all time in any genre. When I went to start preparing for this video this week, I realized that Atomic Habits actually came out in October 2018, so technically this isn't the best book of 2019. But I started reading this book in April of 2019, so it's my best book of 2019. The first point that James makes clear in his book is that small decisions matter a lot more than we think. We might believe that skipping one workout, having a few more drinks, or staying up a little later won't really hurt us too much. And sure, in the long run, one little slip won't knock us off of our path. But it rarely stops with just one, and before we know it, that one little indulgence has led to us being at a place that's far away from where we actually wanted to go. Why is that? Well, because usually it doesn't stop with just once, and that action becomes a habit. I got personal experience with this in my last semester in college. I had almost gotten down to my goal weight when about halfway through the semester I started taking study breaks at a fast food place. And before I knew it, that had turned into a regular occurrence and contributed to me gaining back a lot of the weight I had lost and being a lot further away from my goal. So next time you have the choice of getting out of bed and going for that morning run, or hitting the snooze button and going back to sleep, don't discount the value of that single decision, because it can have a huge effect on your life. The question is, do you want it to help you or hurt you? The next point he makes is that we should focus on our identity and our processes and not our goals. Many of us, including myself, have goals for things we want to achieve in life. We want to get better grades in school, we want to get to a certain weight, or we want to run a marathon. But having goals isn't enough. Goals give you a destination and a direction, but they don't give you what you need to get to the place that you want to be. That's where your system, which is made up of your habits, of making progress comes in. And as Clear says at the end of that chapter, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your process. If you want to improve yourself, you have to start by improving your processes. Another problem with someone entirely focusing on a goal is even if they actually achieve it, they usually then stop doing the things that got them there. That's exactly what happened to me last year. Instead of focusing on the processes I needed to stick to become healthier, instead I focused solely on the number on the scale, so I didn't notice that going to get fast food every other day was going against those processes and keeping myself from becoming healthier. To help prevent this from happening, start focusing on the identity you want to have instead of the goal you want to achieve. For example, a goal is usually a singular event, like running a 5K, whereas an identity is becoming a runner. Clear says your desired identity comes first, which determines your processes, which in turn determines your outcomes. Once you determine the identity you want, then start figuring out the helpful habits you need to strengthen and the harmful habits you need to weaken so you can start acting consistently with that identity. As Clear says, focus on fixing your inputs and your desired outputs will come. He also points out that where you're at now, your current output, is a lagging measure of the things you've done before, which would be your previous inputs. By the way, our subconscious mind causes us to act consistently with our consciously held identity. This is why positive or negative self-talk can be so helpful or hurtful. If we keep telling ourselves that we are something, then our subconscious mind is going to make us be that something. The third concept answers an important question. How do habits work? Referencing The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg and scientific research, Clear breaks down habits into a cycle of 4 parts: cue, craving, response, and reward. For example, I love peanut butter, so when I go into my kitchen, I'm cued by seeing a jar of peanut butter, I start craving a peanut butter sandwich. I usually respond by starting to make one, and then I'm rewarded by eating it, usually with a banana. If you take some time to think about your own habits, then you can start figuring out the cue, craving, response, and reward of each. And while you're thinking about it, let me know, what are some habits that you're trying to build up or break down? Let me know down in the comments. It's critically important for us to understand how habits work because many of the things we do every single day of our lives are the result of habits. And I'm not just talking about how you react to a jar of peanut butter, I'm talking about your social interactions, your emotions and your desires, and other life events. All three of those concepts are contained within the first third of the book. Throughout the rest of the book, Clear describes in great detail his 4 laws of behavior change, which is a habit-changing framework that has 4 parts, one for each component of the previously mentioned habit cycle. For strengthening good habits, his framework says you should make the cue obvious, make the craving attractive, make the response easy, and make the reward satisfying. For weakening a bad habit, do the inverse. Make the cue invisible, make the craving unattractive, make the response difficult, and make the reward unsatisfying. For example, let's say I want to break that peanut butter sandwich habit because I may be working on a 50-pound weight loss challenge, and peanut butter is pretty high calorie. How would I use the framework? First, I can make the cue invisible by putting the peanut butter someplace where I won't see it every time I'm in the kitchen. To make the craving unattractive, I could tape a note to myself on the jar reminding me that I shouldn't be binging on peanut butter. To make the response difficult, I could bury the jar in my closet or behind a bunch of other things so that it's hard to get to. And to make the reward unsatisfying, I could do something to ruin the peanut butter by dumping some soy sauce or mustard in the jar. But some people are actually into that kind of thing, so whatever you do, just make sure that you make your reward actually unattractive to you. Although that summary of the framework probably makes it sound really simple, you really should read the book because most of it's dedicated to explaining in great detail how you can use the framework to change your atomic habits and improve your life. To learn more about your habits, such as the underlying science of habits and other ways you can start breaking your bad ones, check out this video right here. I upload fresh sciencey goodness every Saturday morning, so click here to subscribe to make sure you catch them all. I'll see you in the next one.